Hey everybody, I'm going to be discussing what happened today in Russia between Prigozhin and Mr. President Vladimir Putin. Uncle Putin, he really enjoyed my intelligence updates. I told him everything about what was going on with Prigozhin and Putin. And Putin really enjoyed my information. I relayed the information directly to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs China and Ministry of Foreign Affairs China. I was the State Department activist of the year for their I Am campaign from 2017 to 2020. And since Biden's in office, Trump's no longer in office. I'm actually closer friends with President Xi than Trump. Like President Xi is like my adopted father, and everything I do is because he inspires me, and he's my greatest political inspiration in this world. As someone who China and the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, views as the General Secretary of the American Communist Party. In fact, I've got my old shirt as a janitor. Uh, when I worked in Columbus as a janitor, I got my old work shirt on. And yeah, I either work as a pizza delivery driver or a janitor, and that's because President G inspired me. Personally, I prefer the pizza delivery work. But my ultimate calling in life is as the General Secretary of the American Communist Party, as recognized by the Chinese Communist Party or the CCP. Anyway, we're going to go over my intelligence updates. Uh, uh, this goes out to the Shrimp Slayer. Hunter, you really wanted to see me review this, and yeah, you saw my expert intelligence briefings with the Russians and the Chinese. They love them as well. They're blown away by it. I informed China this morning of the coup, the alleged coup, which was really a psyop. Because if you know what Prigozhin did before he was the military commander of Wagner, he was he started out as a hot dog salesman, hot dog cook, hot dog merchant, and he did the social engineering in the 2016 election, and throughout that whole period of Trump, he was doing social engineering. So am I. So was I. I'm Prigozhin's Chinese equivalent, believe it or not. I'm Prigozhin's Chinese equivalent. I was thanked for my service by President Xi and Princess Xi Mingxi. They personally flew me to my rehabilitation after I made Trump president. And trust me, I make the IRA, the Internet Research Agency of Russia, look like school children. I make them look like school children, actually, compared to what I can do. And I am President Xi's best guy in that field. Vanguard Party and United Front member Aaron Ziegler. Now let's get into it. The CIA paid Prigozhin and each Wagner PMC $50,000 to attempt it and promised $100,000 if they were successful. And I told Russia and China it was a psyop so they could pocket $50,000 for the so-called attempt. It's Xi's guy, Aaron at Wright Patterson Air Force Base. Go easy on him. It was a psyop, and I got the video for the weakest Chinese spy playing when I told him that on my central thread, on my thread on the whole ordeal. These videos got a lot of likes. I got a lot of views anyway. Joe Biden, we need 5 million rockets to bomb Donetsk children. Slava Ukraini. And I was talking about his legal defense, that if he should be in trouble was his psyop. They royally played the CIA. That was their intent from the start, was to play the CIA to pocket $50,000. Now you're a PMC soldier who recently just took back Moat as your latest accomplishment, and you're hungry, you're kind of malnourished, you're tired, and you can't think straight because you've been fighting the whole time. And you're carrying the whole Russian army. Honestly, I would have had one of my top captain, or I would have had my top captain if I was Prigzhinov, Prigzhin. I would have had him call President Xi and ministry and the military of China. Like, let's say I was like doing this in Taiwan, and I was going to do a psyop to like play the CIA. Now, if it was Asian guys who did this, they would all need to be executed. But because they're white, they don't know any better, man. Russians, white guys, they don't know any better, man. You offer us $50,000 in this situation, we're not going to know any better. We're not going to know any better, and we're going to be innocent if we don't go through with it, but we just attempt it. We make it look like we did it. His defense would have been a psyop, and that's Wagner's whole defense, too, is that they were conducting a psyop to play the CIA and make $50,000. They were promised $100,000 if they went through with it. But like $50,000 just to make it look like we're going to do a coup? You got to be crazy not to do that. But why wouldn't you do that for $50,000 each? Each PMC Wagner guy, because they did that, made $50,000. I have, and then, you know what? I knew they weren't going to do it. 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 They're too loyal. They're the main patriotic fighting force of Russia. They may be mercenaries, but like, bro, the CIA offered them $50,000 up front, like cash, be like USD. They'd be like, okay, go to attempt the coup, and if you were successful at it, 100,000. Now, if the CIA did that to me, of course I'm gonna play the CIA. Of course I'm gonna play the CIA. I fucking hate the CIA. But for $50,000, yeah, I'll go to Moscow and be like, hey, look at us, man, we're gonna do a coup. Nah, not really. Not really. We just want $50,000, man. Man, $50,000 is $50,000. You, your brother, your other brother, your comrade, you all get, your Tovarish, you all get $50,000. You can't tell me you wouldn't do that. Now, Prigozhin, I'm sorry I said this, but I am your Chinese equivalent. And you know what? You're my competition, technically. So if you got wiped out of the picture, bro, I could take over for, like, the Internet Research Agency of Russia. I'm that guy for China. I'm that guy for China. I ran Bernie-crats. I did all the left-wing stuff that actually got Trump elected. I had to divide and conquer left-wing politics in the 2015 to 2018 to divide and conquer the Democrat Party by endorsing Dr. Jill Stein and Bernie Sanders instead of Hillary Clinton on all 120 of my social media platforms, worth 1 million views a week. Every week, 1 million views on each one of them. So 120 million views is what I was getting every week total on all my social media platforms for the Bernie-crats organization, Help Progressives Win. I was Dr. Jill Stein's chief social media strategist as the general secretary of the Bernie-crats party, which is why China views me as the general secretary of the American Communist Party. No joke. Now, Prigozhin, if you get a radioactive cocktail in Belarus, I have no comment on that. But I'm going to have a celebratory bomb pop for the soon-to-be-dead CIA rat Prigozhin. I love that I was the one who sold him out, Baba Xi Jinping and Uncle Vladimir Putin. Are you proud of me? It's General Secretary Aaron Ziegler of the American Communist Party. That's me, man. That's me. Now, if you're not aware of this, there was $6.2 billion for Ukraine military aid lost in an accounting error, okay? An accounting error from, like, the 20th. Where that money went was to Prigozhin and Wagner from the CIA to do a coup against Russia, to do a coup against President Putin. And you know what? They gave him $50,000 each up front, and they said $100,000 if you go through with it afterwards. They didn't go through with it, so they're all walking around $50,000 richer. Their intent, I know their intent too, was to play the CIA so they can make $50,000 and, like, you know, walk away from that. And you know what, Mr. President Vladimir Putin, I informed him. I informed all of Russia. I told them like 1 million times that this was actually happening. Like before you'll even know, it was me who told them. Told Putin. I told President Putin. I told the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I told China. I told Mr. President Xi Jinping all this information. They know because of me. Nothing's going to happen to you Wagner guys. And that's because I begged them not to do anything. I begged them not to do anything. Xi's best guy at Right Pat and Lockheed Martin. He begged them. He begged Putin and he begged Xi. His uncle Putin and his Baba Xi, his dad Xi. My adopted father is Xi Jinping. I begged them not to do anything to Wagner, but like Prigozhin, whatever happens to him in Belarus for Africa, in Africa. But like honestly, I have no way to dictate what Putin does, man. I can influence Xi real easy because he's my adopted father. But can the Wagner PMC guys see their families for a day or visit the bank to deposit their money for the psyop and defrauding the CIA? They were getting $50,000 to attempt it up front and $100,000 after it was complete. They're loyal. They just royally played the CIA. Anyway, this was my take from the whole Prigozhin Russia Civil War incident today. And yeah, I am the intelligence agent who snitched on the CIA help Wagner get away with it. I love you guys. I love you, Wagner, and I got your back, Wagner. I got your back. Not so much Prigozhin, but Wagner. I got your back.